Oh, now people are bringing up other Disney songs like You're Welcome. I didn't like Moana that much, but I loved that song. It's weird. I usually don't like the songs in Disney movies, but I like the music. But I think Moana is the only one where I can say the reverse. Maybe Pocahontas. I didn't like Pocahontas that much.
I love the songs, though.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
this,
okay. You mean if you're saying you like the story?
Well,
more
like
than the
Mulan's
songs.
story was actually like pretty fun.
I am your end.
Whereas,
Admittedly, a lot of the historically based ones, like I suppose, it's still fiction though. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but that was far more serious.
I don't remember enough about the Hunchback of Notre
I love
Dame
the songs in that one
to
too.
really talk about the plot of it. I just remember it being kind of bleak.
Well, I mean, it was France during a period of time when there was a lot of prejudice against the gypsies.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was... What era was it supposed to be? Probably 1400s?
Don't stand in my way.
I'm trying to think of how old it must be. Depends on how old Notre Dame was.
Who can play at this game? Jerk.
But they did change a lot of the plot points in that one. Because almost everyone dies at the end of the original story.
I remember that. I think that's part of the problem.
But in the Disney version, they
changed it.
Yeah, they changed it substantially.
Because I've read Hunchback in Notre Dame, and I don't remember the plots enough.
They even cut out the whole narrator character.
Like, I straight up... Yeah, we just totally missed that when we first came through. Let's see, and that's just a traversal spot, nothing fancy.
Hmm?
I think this is Volgrim here? Yeah, this is Volgrim.
Another Volgrim.
What's up, Volgrim? Take my souls.
This will be
Wait.
fun for both of us, as you will.
Let me see. And I think we dropped down in here, so we gotta traverse back, but that's okay. I don't think there's anything else in this spot.
Yeah, when it comes to The Little Mermaid, I really liked it up until she became a human.
Yeah, and then I lost the plot because it wasn't interesting anymore. It was just like a bad love story, sort of.
Yeah, I know. And Prince Eric also seemed a fairly shallow character.
He was boring,
Yeah.
but like all of the princes are boring. That's why they never have a role in anything.
Philip, I thought, was okay in Sleeping Beauty. Though, admittedly, he only did so much
Yeah.
before she was put to sleep.
He was kind of there.
Let me see other Disney princes. The one in Snow White literally just pops up, sings a little bit of a song, and she is scared and runs away, and then he comes by at the end
To save her.
to save her.
Which is such a, like...
I don't know if he even knew he was going to save her, or if it was just a, oh, she's dead, I'll kiss her, and then she wakes up.
Yeah. That was such a weird, skeezy message. Oh, well, she's dead. I guess our romance is not to be. Kiss her anyway. What?
Yeah, I don't know if there
remember,
was a
kids,
stipulation for the curse.
If the girl that you're mildly in love with seems to be dead, kiss her and she'll come back to life. What?
Well, hey, at least in Sleeping Beauty, they didn't go into all the morbid details from the original story.
Yeah, didn't he, like, sleep with her and, like, father a baby?
I suppose she gave birth to several children while sleeping, and that was... Ugh.
Horrifying. Imagine if you woke up and suddenly we had extra babies.
Oh, gosh. Well, we don't even have one.
you were 30 something and had several babies, and I somehow was like king.
Ew.
Yeah.
Then again, there have been several renditions of these tales over the last
God, that's
100
really
some year, 200 years.
wild and messed up.
Actually, when did the Brothers Grimm write their tales?
I have no idea.
I'll have to look into that.
Okay, I think this is the last bit of backtracking we need to do.
And I'm surprised that Disney hasn't covered this old. I believe it was another Grimm's fairy tale. Have you ever heard of the, like, is it the 12 Swans or something? Essentially, there was a kingdom, and I believe it was 12 princesses. And there were these 12 princes. I forget if the 12 princes were
Yeah,
all...
the angels just straight up ignore me now.
Well, that's because
That's a nice
You're their
change.
ally at this point. And so the 12 princes, you know, I don't know if they were all brothers too. Like, how do people have so many children back in those days? But they
Concubines.
they wanted to marry the princesses, but they would disappear every night. And so I think they pursued them at one point.
Really?
Or maybe there was only one guy that just wanted to marry one of them, or I don't know. It's all getting really fuzzy in my head. But apparently they would take these boats to this strange castle at night and dance in a masquerade ball. And maybe they turned into swans at some point. Maybe it was during the day. I'm getting my stories mixed up, I think. But essentially, they had to break the spell on them. And essentially
You know, I kind of like that.
force them to marry
Badly
the human
remembered
princes as opposed
Grimm
to the
fairy
dream
tales told
princes.
years after you've read them and you only remember half the details. You've seen those where, like, people are told to, like, draw a Pokemon that they've never seen or, like...
Or haven't seen for a long time. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm usually very good and very detailed about
Oh, no,
these.
I'm not
but
asking you
I think
to
I
apologize.
think I might be mixing two of the stories together.
I mean, are they still all Grimm fairy tales?
Yeah, I remember
Because, like,
going back and reading. a Grimm fairy
realistically,
tale.
he can block hammer smacks. That's not okay. Not okay. You shouldn't be able to...
I swear there was also
do that.
another story about
We've
someone,
done everything here.
like a prince or something, that
up, dude?
turned into a fox and then was killed by,
A hunter and she wore his skin.
or what?
I'm just adding theatrics.
No, I understand. There are weird ones. I'm just trying to think of
We should...
other
oh, man.
other
We should
things
write
that
the
Disney
most
could make.
quintessential Grimm fairy tale, but obviously not written by them. It wouldn't even be that hard. Okay, so base component, girl, probably familyless or familyless, and possibly royal.
Yeah, usually they're secretly royal
Okay,
and potentially cursed.
secretly royal, cursed. Okay, so what's a curse? Let's Mad Lib this. Here, I don't need this. Here you go. Okay, so I need some deets here. So
Okay, and you also have to have evil family members.
yes, evil. I was gonna say like an evil vizier uncle, but no, that's Disney.
Okay. So, girl and
Orphan or like family is
orphan, or she was kidnapped and then raised by someone else.
okay.
Or she was sent away to be raised by someone
As
else.
you wish.
Or
How about she was sent away to live with somebody else, but got kidnapped by someone else? Like, layer the levels of separation here. So she's like way lost.
and then okay, so
You gotta write these down though.
Okay, sent to live with whom? Should it be grandparents? Should it
Aunt.
be
It was almost never grandparents, because grandparents...
They would die too swiftly.
Yeah, they would die immediately. Like, how many...
No one ever had grandparents.
How many Disney
back
stories
in the Middle
involve a grandparent, period?
I suppose you could have grandparents if they lived into their 40s, because everyone had children at 15.
But it's almost always like an aunt or an uncle. So let's go aunt, because if it's a girl, it's probably an aunt.
Okay, sent to live with the aunt.
But got kidnapped
by the rival king.
Okay. Who has also come on hard times.
Wait, what?
Well, like, all of the royals in Grimm's fairy tales are, like, down on their luck or their kingdom's falling apart or something.
Oh, yes, and the aunt has to have been killed by some mythical creature.
Yeah.
And then the king, the rival king, came upon the abandoned girl.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
So what's the mythical creature that's going to be a subject of this story?
It's
going to be a basilisk. Let's make it a basilisk.
Let's make it a cockatrice.
A cockatrice?
Yeah, because cockatrices are hilarious.
Okay, killed by the cockatrice, and she's kidnapped, and she's... No, not kidnapped. She is
there's like a fragment of a hope that if she kills the cockatrice, her aunt will come back to life and she'll have the perfect...
Because the cockatrice turns people to stone, right?
Correct. Yeah, they're just like basilisks.
Stone. Okay. Kidnapped by rival king. Okay. And... Okay, so she was sent to live with her aunt.
Yeah.
Kidnapped by the rival... Oh, not kidnapped. Raised by the rival king after finding her abandoned in the forest.
Yeah. But the rival king is an asshole.
And wants to marry her off to whom? Wants to...
Well, we could have the classic princelet, but I was thinking classic princelet warlock.
What?
Dude dabbles in the dark arts.
Okay. Oh, maybe the evil king has, yeah, like a warlock, underling.
Oh, but it would be a... Yes. Yeah.
Wants to marry...
Would it be an underling or like a princely son, or would the princely son be the warlock? Or is there a princely son warlock underling? Like, how many layers do we jam onto this poor progeny? Because, like, you can keep going. Why not?
Okay. And obviously she's not thrilled with this.
No.
And she says, well, if you truly are endowed with great feats of magic...
Let's not use the word endowed.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, if you're truly a capable wizard, you know, I request that... Maybe she likes to go into the woods and she happens to, like, have a real connection to the statue in the woods. They just brought her aunt as a statue and put it in their garden.
Oh, that's messed up.
Okay, aunt statue in garden.
Oh, okay, so the story she's been fed is that they rescued her after the aunt was turned into stone by the cockatrice. But in reality, it was their cockatrice.
I don't know, but as a stipulation for marriage, she wants to ensure that her aunt... I don't know if she's aware that she's an aunt, or maybe she wants the statue brought to life. Maybe she never had a mother, and she thinks that that's a motherly figure that she always talked to out in the garden.
Yeah, okay, but... Oh, so she's convincing the warlock's son that she wants a motherly figure, so he has to bring this statue to life.
Yes.
Putting the warlock in a really tight spot because it's technically a living statue to begin with, and he doesn't want her to know, which is bad. So he poisons her?
Because maybe the aunt was trying to defend her from the evil cockatrice, and she's the only one that knows the cockatrice belongs to the evil king.
Well, I mean, maybe she even knows that the evil king is evil, and, you know, is just doing this so he can claim regency over Fatal Heir. Ugh.
Okay.
I want to make a list of all the roles and then try and get as few characters as possible to fill those roles. Hey, I mean, it's working.
Wait, what?
Oh, after this, this tale, the D&D campaign is coming. Oh god, that'd be messy. So anyway, yeah, so the rival king has taken over her kingdom. As a result.
Because the parents were slain.
Yeah.
The aunt was turned to stone, and no one knows what happened.
Yeah,
to the
so
child.
the aunt was going to be the queen.
Why would he have raised the girl as his own?
Because she's his claim to that throne.
Oh.
Because all the nobility is still kind of loyal to her, but like not really. It's more of like a legitimacy of heir. Because otherwise, some other distant relative will have the claim to the throne, not him. And you know, so this is the only way that he can hold power in this area.
And what are the several MacGuffins that the young warlock has to acquire in order to potentially bring the stone back to life?
Oh, geez. What is it usually? What would be stone? A golden chisel from, like, dwarves or something.
Wait, no, you don't want to chip away at the stone.
No. It's used to carve living statues. The MacGuffins are false. He's just gathering them to make her think that he's doing it right, because really he's just stalling for time? Well, you know, before the wedding ceremony.
But I thought she stipulated that he needed
No, they're
to
getting
revive
married
the stone.
anyway. But
Oh.
she's demanding this of him, I think. Maybe? Because the thing is, ultimately, it has to be tragic. She has to lose and everything sucks. Because this is a grim fairy tale, and pretty much everyone dies at the end of those? Right? Like, I don't know. I haven't read that many grim fairy tales, but if I remember it, almost all of them end badly for, like, everyone.
I actually had the funny idea of she asks for a specific set of ingredients, and what he doesn't realize is he's actually bringing her the materials she needs to summon the cockatrice again and turn her evil king father to stone or other things. Or I don't know. Like, is the cockatrice really under their control, or is it actually her parents fused together as the snake and the chicken?
That's horrifying. So the evil king turned her parents. They didn't die. Everybody thinks the cockatrice...
Because the cockatrice has a snake tail and a chicken
So
head,
I think
right?
the cockatrice is dead.
Oh, the cockatrice
it was
is
a
dead?
plant, yeah. So in rescuing her, the king and the warlock princeling slay the cockatrice, which is really just theirs, and they were controlling it all along. So they made it lame duck, you know, go blind all of a sudden, so it wouldn't, you know, petrify them, or who knows what, or maybe it actually was just a chicken all along, and the warlock princeling is the one doing all the petrifying. However, oops. Let's see, what other tropes are we missing here, guys?
Someone has to lose body parts.
Yeah.
Because, what was it? In Cinderella, the stepsisters had to cut off parts of their feet in order to stick their...
Oh. Hello. Oh. A Zazzle enhancement.
Azazel.
Is it Azazel? Is this a Zazzle? A Zazzle Zazz?
I think it's Azazel.
A Zazel? A Zazzle? A Zazzle?
No, but someone has to...
Yes.
Has to lose a body
Someone
part.
has to be maimed. I'm thinking...
I still think, like, the Warlock Princeling needs to find MacGuffins. So
No. She needs to find MacGuffins for some reason. Isn't it? Because the Warlock Princeling shouldn't be on this hero's journey.
But why did you even want the Warlock?
Isn't there always,
Princeling?
like, kind of a bad magic user?
Well, that's the thing. I thought that there was the advisor who made the cockatrice, and his son
Yeah, I'm just
was
mashing...
the one that was going to marry
I'm
the
just
princess.
mashing... Oh, okay. So instead of a rival king, it's like if Jafar had this son.
And the son was actually decent.
Okay, so we're rewriting it so it's not a warlock princeling, it's just a princeling, and he's actually a good guy. His dad's a douche nozzle. You know, that can work, kind of. Oh, to summon the cockatrice,
You have to
sacrifice your eyeballs.
Ah!
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want somebody to lose limbs. Losing eyes is pretty horrific. So, to resurrect this statue, they need eyes. So the evil warlock dad takes her eyes to resurrect the cockatrice.
The girls? The
Yes.
princesses?
Yes. Because she's still marryable, even if she's blind. This is a grim fairy tale. Remember, this is awful. Like, this is not a happy story. So, the princeling... Are you getting this down?
Yes, but I don't like...
I don't
the
like it
whole,
either.
like,
I hate this story.
sacrificing
That's the entire
girl's
point of
eyes.
this. So, Warlock takes her eyes to summon the cockatrice. Princeling, realizing what his father has done, is enraged, kills the cockatrice, or no, kills his father, which inadvertently lets the cockatrice loose, turning him to stone, leaving the princess to be the blind queen of this kingdom. At last.
Nah, but the thing is, like, what if by becoming blinded for this evil cockatrice ritual, she actually sees the true souls of
No.
people and realizes that the cockatrice is actually her parents that had been fused into this monster?
Okay, just as it gets killed.
No!
Well, it's a grim fairy tale. Stop editorializing it so it might be nice. Now she has to see that every single person around her is two-faced and awful. And so technically she's the queen. She's got her throne back. The evil vizier is dead. The love of her life is a statue that she can't fix because the only person that could ever fix her is also dead.
But what about the aunt in all this? She's the reason why we were going to be having the curse reversed in the first place.
Okay, so the aunt is brought back, but all of the...
Why even have the aunt? Why not just have her parents were the ones turned to stone by the cockatrice?
Okay, sure. Oh, even more horrifying. So the cockatrice is not made of her parents, because that'd be kind of weird.
Okay, then what's it made out of?
It's just a cockatrice.
Okay.
Nothing necessarily more, nothing necessarily less. Found a nice area. But there's this loving statue, set of statues of the king and queen out in the garden. So she loses her eyes to resummon the cockatrice to, you know, reanimate the king and queen or something like that. Which, I mean, is all just smokescreen on the warlock's part. But the princeling kills him before he can do anything. And she gains the ability to see the souls of the people around her and, like, their intentions and whatnot. Mm-hmm. At which point she realizes that statue that she loves in the garden outside is just her parents and she can do nothing about it. But she is queen. I guess. And that's it. And then she dies of the plague sometime later.
Hey!
But it's a grim fairy tale.
No, I know.
It's not a grim fairy tale unless somebody dies of the plague.
Yeah, because the whole Little Red Riding Hood thing
Or
was morbid.
even more horrifying, the warlock takes her eyes and turns his own son, who he's lost confidence in,
into a cockatrice.
into the cockatrice.
Okay.
And
so Prince Cockatrice is Prince. Okay, so
Yeah.
we do have someone as the...
And so we'll throw in a little bit of female empowerment here. She's the one to slay the cockatrice, not realizing it's her princey, you know, fiance that she's in love with. And she's blind. And princey cockatrice has either slain the warlock, or she slays the warlock, or the warlock is slayed in the mix.
And as she stabs him, he reverts back
Yes.
into human form
Yes.
and also stone.
Yes.
And she adds him to her garden that she can't see.
Well, how about because he's turning back, with the exception of the eyes, because they were her eyes. her eyes turn people to stone, kind of like a weird like Hand of Midas situation.
Ah, okay.
She has
her eyes.
She has
but
her
they're
eyes
stone
back,
eyes.
but they're stone eyes that like I said, Hands of Midas.
And she becomes the ultimate judge.
Yeah.
She can see
Oh yeah,
people's
no,
souls.
she ends up being the evil queen. There's even like a sequel story.
Okay.
And the sequel story is like her being the evil queen and then somebody having to slay her.
I like this.
I like this.
That's better. That's a better
It's
ending.
so sad. Okay, so you want to read it back to me just so we get the story straight?
Okay, so once upon a time,
Ooh.
there was a kingdom, and the kingdom was ruled over by a benevolent king and queen. And they had betwixt them a daughter, a young girl. But unfortunately, their neighbor, King What's-His-Face.
Well, no. It's just like the vizier. It's like Merlin, but if Merlin was an asshole.
Okay, well, so their neighboring king was jealous of their prosperity, and so enlisted the aid of an infamous warlock to summon a cockatrice and loose it into the castle.
No,
Huh?
let's write out the rival king entirely. This is just if Merlin decided he wanted the throne. He had a
really?
Yeah.
No king? No evil king?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the entire point would be like, if Merlin had the son and was like, yeah, my son could be...
My son could be the king. Okay, so this warlock came from a long and ancient lineage of magic users, and he looked down upon the current king because were the current king and queen just sitting on like ancient lands that had once belonged to the magic users? Or now we're getting a little too complicated.
No, this is a bit much. I think the dude is just power hungry.
Okay.
And is like, my son should be the one ruling because this little girl is, just a happy-go-lucky little girl and knows nothing about the evils of the world, and she'll be a bad ruler, and who knows what kind of...
But then we lose the whole princeling thing, because
No.
wouldn't it make sense if an evil king from a foreign land enlists the aid of a warlock to turn the other king and queen to stone, but in order to secure a spot on the throne of the other kingdom, he has a son that he can marry off to her?
Oh, so it's not the warlock's son, it's the evil king's son.
It's the evil king's son now.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Okay, yeah, evil king's son. Okay, so the evil king of the neighboring kingdom enlists the aid of a warlock to make it seem as though a most feared mythological beast, the cockatrice, is to blame for their demise, their untimely end.
No, it's just the easiest way to hide evidence. I'm sure they have more evil things up their sleeves. It's just cockatrices are easy.
Right. Okay. So, yes, the cockatrice succeeds in invading the castle, and oh, how would you get the girl out of the castle so that she wouldn't turn into stone?
Well,
does she get an invitation to something?
A tea party. Well, effectively, it's...
The girl gets invited to meet with
the prince.
The prince.
Yeah.
Because they're children.
And so he's going to get her parents out of the way, who might oppose the marriage or any number of things, This way it's surefire that his son will be instilled as kind of the husband-to-be. And, the hilarious thing is you realize eventually, yeah, no, this would have just straight up worked out if he just wasn't a dickwad about everything. Mm-hmm. Because that's always how it works in Grim Fairy Tales. If everybody was just nice and, talk to each other in productive ways, it's like, yeah, okay, some of these problems could have been averted a long time ago, but no.
Okay. So we have it then that, they grow older and actually quite fond of one another, the prince and the princess. And it is soon revealed that they are to be wed. And, but unfortunately, the princess has long desired, no, I shouldn't say that. There's the statues out in the garden. And I'm trying to think of, like, because now the whole statues in the garden thing doesn't quite make sense, because then she's always had the king of the other kingdom as a father figure. They're not really as a good father figure. Maybe they were told that they were just depictions of the king and queen.
Yeah.
Yes. And she knows that maybe the prince has been taught in some magic. What do you think?
Yeah.
By the warlock.
Or maybe the prince was spying on the warlock.
Apparently someone wants to chat.
Okay, so let's say that the prince has been dabbling in magic since he has access to the warlock's powers and abilities, and he actually finds
I think
a
he just
spell
snooped in the library.
that can bring stone to life. And she, always desiring her own parents, especially for her own wedding, he says,
Oh god. These
What?
things are brutal.
oof. He says that in order to make her happy, he will bring the statues back to life, even if only for a day, for her wedding. And then, then he
that's perfect.
and then, yeah, because she needs to be walked down the aisle by someone,
And so she wants fake parents to do it.
yes, okay, that just look like the king and queen. So that's when he goes on his MacGuffin quest to find the however many items he needs for the cockatrice spell. However, the warlock.
I hate this guy.
Ooh. The warlock.
You can only hit him once
Oh.
because he blocks. Oh, I hate this.
Okay, but before the wedding and before the magic ritual is to take place, or maybe even the prince grabs all the ingredients and takes it to the warlock. The warlock, knowing that if he revives the statues, will reveal that the king and queen are actually there.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those where the prince knows about that the warlock can probably do this. And so he asks the warlock about this fully good-naturedly, not knowing that the warlock is evil. And the warlock is like, yes, bring me these things, and I can give you...
But it's really the ingredients to make him into a cockatrice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because he knows that, you know, if he does this, everything will be undone, because everybody's incredibly short-sighted in this universe.
And then, without the prince, and maybe he wants to do it at their wedding, so
Yes.
that he turns the king, the princess, the prince, everyone into stone, so that he can become the new de facto king of the kingdom, the warlock.
Yeah. Oh, because he'll kill the evil king, the entire wedding party, and then it'll be him and the blind princess.
Wait, how did the blind princess come about? Because he takes her eyes for the last part of the ritual.
Yeah, he takes her eyes in the middle of the wedding. You know, he's the officiant or something like that. Something, you know, real vile.
Unless, as part of the whole ingredients gathering thing to make her parents, she's actually willing to part with her sight in order to have parents.
Yes. Even for just a day, because it's a grim fairy tale, and everybody will go do Faustian bargains for, like, purely stupid reasons.
Yep. So then instead, the prince becomes the cockatrice, freezes the evil king, and most everyone else. But how is the warlock shielded from this?
The warlock isn't there. You know, he locks the door outside.
Okay, so he locks the door and he leaves. And that's when the princess has to
because she
kill
has
the
no idea what's going on
cockatrice.
because she's now blind. And so...
Maybe even the cockatrice can't bring itself to kill her because it loves her.
Yeah, so the prince is still has like a moment of sentience, realizes it's her, you know, can't kill her. She, on the other hand, is blind and obviously can't communicate, so she kills the cockatrice knowing that it's this threat. You know, it's this beast that killed her family. It's back for revenge. It just killed her fiancé. her father-in-law, everyone she knows, so she kills it.
And maybe the cockatrice's blood splatters on the stone that are her parents, and they come back.
No.
Oh.
No. I like the idea of her being aware.
But then how does she know to put the stone eyes in her eyes?
She doesn't.
Oh.
She doesn't get her eyes back. She just has her eyes in a box.
But then how does she do the whole I'm the evil queen judge thing at the end?
Because she is truly blind.
Oh, okay, so you're not doing the whole the eyes turn to stone thing.
No, they do turn to stone. Like, when she gets her eyes back, she just physically has...
Oh, so is she gonna be one of those creepy people that rolls the balls in her hands?
Maybe.
You know,
yeah,
like
if she loses her mind,
David
it goes...
Bowie style? From
Oh,
Labyrinth?
God. David Bowie style. That is a description, sure.
Well, no, so Jareth the Goblin King in Labyrinth, I mean, granted they're very large glass balls, I believe, but...
You're right.
You know how you even have those Chinese balls, the metal ones with little bells on the inside that you're supposed to do a hand exercise with them where you roll them around in a circle around each other? Okay, well, in any case, so she kills the cockatrice...
Who turns back into her fiancé.
Right. Except, then what happens with all the townspeople and stuff?
I think there's a number of survivors at the wedding. You know, if the cockatrice hadn't got to her yet.
Uh-huh. Well, to them.
Yeah, to them. You know, it did a cursory glance, but, you know, old Gertrude in the back... You know, she's not really paying attention. She's having Napa when everybody starts screaming.
Maybe anyone that would have required glasses in those days didn't have a clear enough vision of the cockatrice.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, not everybody pays
Actually,
attention.
Does the cockatrice really only turn people to stone if you make eye contact like the basilisk?
So, yeah.
Or is it something else?
I believe it's about the same.
Oh, okay.
I get them muddled up pretty hard.
Because it was also like that with Medusa.
Yeah.
In any case, so everyone bears witness to what happened. But I still like the idea of by slaying the cockatrice, its blood spills on the statues of her parents, and they're brought back, but only for a day, and they're able to tell her about what happened, and then also go after the warlock. Because he was the one...
Oh, so she inadvertently does manage... Oh, because she had cockatrice blood. Yeah, right. Okay, she revives her parents for a day, and they go out to murder the warlock.
What?
Yeah. So, she has a extremely confusing and heartfelt reunion
But
with
no
her...
one knows what the warlock looks like, so they capture...
Oh god,
they
that'd be
capture
even
all
worse.
the old men of the kingdom, and she has to go to them one by one with her sightless eyes that can see into their true souls.
No, she just freezes everyone.
What?
Yeah.
No,
that's how she...
I thought the whole point was she was supposed to
I don't think her parents should come back. I think her parents
Oh.
should always be the statue. She never realized they were the statue until after. And so...
But then who tells her?
No one does. She knows there's this warlock whose age is age 50 to 60. And so she rounds up every single person in the kingdom age 50 to 60, which there aren't that many. It's a medieval kingdom.
Okay.
This only amounts to maybe
How
a
do you
couple
know
hundred
someone's
people.
age back in those days?
I mean, it's
She
kind of
can't
obvious.
even see.
She just rounds up anybody old looking and turns them into statues. But in doing so, gains the ability to see into people's true selves.
No, I thought that should have been part of the original ritual.
Well, no, the warlock curses her to see, you know, he's like he's obviously the last one, and he curses her to see all of the innocent people she killed in the process.
So all she sees are their souls around the kingdom as statues?
Yeah. And so she has all these innocent people that she condemned in searching for him. And so...
And she has the stone eyeballs.
Yes. Because that's what she's been using to freeze all these people, and she can't fix them. she doesn't have cockatrice. Or she doesn't know the ritual. She doesn't have a warlock to do it for her. And so she just has this gallery of dead people that she froze on her crusade of justice.
I think there are several ways
your
that
sake.
story could go.
I hope you can't smell that.
Even a faceless one would find itself intoxicated here. Is there some meaning to this particular scent?
Gluttony.
Hey, Gluttony.
Good eating. This will be as you wish.
Okay, are there any other details we should have? Because, yeah, I like the idea of her being able to tell that her parents are in this statue and they're finally there. It's some small comfort, but she also has, like, 1,000 dead dudes that are just frozen in time because she, you know, she was so single-minded in her desire for revenge. And then the story ends there, and I don't think there'd be a sequel series because I think this is already packed enough. Oh, this is straight up Gluttony right in here.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Where?
This is the Gluttony boss fight.
I hear something. Is this... I've been so distracted with the whole, cockatrice.
Yeah, this story that stuff...
What should the title be?
Should
it be, like,
quintessentially grim.
Well, no, like traditional. What do you call
Oh.
it? The Blind Princess? The
Well, Snow
the Queen
White.
of Stone.
Snow White, Sleeping Beauty. Maybe the Stone Princess?
Stone Princess,
Or Prince...
the Blind Princess, or the Eyeless Queen.
I think Stone Princess is the best, because Eyeless Queen is kind of creepy. Same thing with the Blind Princess, because that leads on too much.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's horrifying.